Hello, my name is Eric Bowers, and this is my video blog. I'm in the barn here at the Abundance Community Farm. This is where I like to shoot my video blog. It's winter right now, so I'm all dressed up for the cold. And today I'd like to talk about working with implicit memory. I have another video which I'll post a link for below that explains implicit memory in a lot of detail. In this video, I'll explain a little bit about implicit memory, and then I want to talk about a powerful way to work with implicit memory. I also write about implicit memory in my book, which you can find on Amazon. Implicit memory has a huge impact on our lives and our relationships, and it's a really helpful part of our being human. It helps us learn. It's another way to think of it is it's unconscious learning. It's learning that's happening. It's memory that's getting stored below the level of awareness. It also gets recalled below the level of awareness. And the more you experience something, the more you store things implicitly. For example, if you're learning to drive a car and day after day you're practicing, you're starting to figure out how to do it implicitly as well as explicitly. And soon it becomes automatic and you don't have to try so hard. The same thing is happening in our relationships right from the moment we're born. We're learning about how relationships work based on how our caregivers are taking care of us. And then in the future, we recall things below the level of awareness. They're just getting recalled automatically, depending on how we experienced those things in the past. So it's very helpful if we experienced helpful things, healthy things in whatever we're learning, but it's not so helpful if we learned painful things or unhealthy things, because those will, whatever that learning is, gets automatically recalled. And implicit memory includes emotions and actions and sensations. So those are automatically getting recalled too. This is key to understand. You know, when you remember something explicitly, you just say, what did I remember? And you maybe have an image of what you had for breakfast. That's your explicit memory. But with an implicit memory, you're not going, what do I remember? It's just getting recalled automatically. And what comes with it are the emotions and sensations and behaviors. So this is really key to understand. And I would say most of the time, if you're having strong emotions and sensations and reactions, probably there's implicit memory as part of it. So here's how I really like to work with implicit memory. When I notice I'm having strong emotions and sensations and reactions, because I have this understanding of implicit memory, and I can recognize, oh, here's an implicit response, here's an activation of an implicit memory. I know that that comes from some past experience that hasn't been integrated yet. Because once it gets integrated, it changes how we feel it and how we experience it. So when I realize that's happening, I relate to it as a young part of myself, because essentially it's a memory from a younger part of myself that didn't get to, it's an experience from a younger part of myself that didn't get to be integrated, that didn't get to be fully felt and sequenced through the body and made sense of. So it got stuck as just an implicit memory, and it keeps happening the same way. It keeps being experienced the same way in the future every time we have something similar. So this can happen, let's say, with a holiday. There might be, maybe you have a hard time with the holiday, the Christmas holidays, or any kind of holiday. And you will have emotions and sensations that are similar to painful past holiday experiences. So what I do when I recognize that it's probably an implicit memory is I find some time as soon as I can to just slow right down and go inward. And I call forth a part of myself that is a nurturing leader or nurturing parent, whatever term I want to use. It's a nurturing something, caregiver, parent, leader. And I start to visualize this nurturing part holding a young part of me. Just like a really healthy parenting response would be for a child that was in my life. Just like a parent would for a child. And I do the sort of things that I know are helpful for children when they're upset. I give them empathy. So I'm giving this inner part that I'm visualizing empathy. That's where nonviolent communication can really be helpful if you understand that kind of empathy. And then I hold it the way I think it needs to be held visually. And part of how I hold it, though, is I allow my feelings to be felt. I breathe into them with compassion. And I welcome them and hold it all as a young child that just needs comfort, that needs empathy, that needs love. I say to this young part inwardly, I love you, or I'm with you, or I've got you, or, whatever you're feeling is okay with me. You belong with me. I'm so glad you're here. Whatever it is that I think that part wants to hear or would have liked to have heard when I was young, I get to give it to it now. And this is not always easy because, there's two big things going on. There is this bodily experience of some implicit memory that's got strong feelings usually, and in the midst that I'm feeling as this adult, but really it's, I think, a network of neurons that have activated that implicit memory. And so what I'm trying to do is keep my prefrontal cortex working, because it's the one that holds the empathy for myself, nurtures myself. And I'm doing that by visualizing that some part of me is the adult holding it with a lot of care, holding this young part with a lot of care. Or I can use my imagination to call in someone else, some friend or grandparent or whoever that really brings alive that quality of nurturing. I could call in an entity, it doesn't matter, nature, whatever it is that I feel totally nurtured by, completely cared for, safe with, and so on. There are times where I'm not able to do this practice, so then I just need to reach out for help and have someone give me the empathy and presence and compassion that I'm needing, because my implicits sometimes are just that big. That's okay. We're not supposed to be able to do it all by ourselves. But when I can, it feels very healing and very beautiful. It's a deep experience of self-love, self-acceptance, self-care. And it's helped me many times work through difficult implicit memories, difficult emotions and sensations. It does require a slowing down and a very focused meditative practice. And for me, I really try to generate feelings of love in my heart, literally generating that sense of nurturing love in the midst of maybe also feeling the implicit feeling of sadness or fear or anger. I'm holding it all with as much love as I can. So I hope that's clear, and I hope that's helpful for you. And I hope that next time you're having strong feelings, you're able to hold yourself and your implicit memories with some love, with some empathy, and have lots of support with that as well. If you have any questions or comments, please put them below. And I wish you a wonderful 2018. Bye for now.